Robert Ludwig Macke was born in Germany on the 3rd of January 1887 in Michigan, Westphalia. He is the only son of August Friedrich Hermann Macke, a building contractor and an amateur artist himself, and his wife Maureen Florin nie Adolphe, who came from a farming family in Westphalia Schwerland region. Shortly after August's birthday, the family settled at Cologne, where Macke was educated at the Kutsch Gymnasium from 1897 to 1900, and became a friend with Hans Thur, who would also become an artist. In 1900, he was 13, and the family moved to Bonn, where Macke studied at the Ruhr Gymnasium, and became friends with Walter Gunthardt and Gunthardt's sister, Elisabeth Gunthardt, whom he would marry a few years later. The first artistic works to make an impression on August Macke were his father's drawings, the Japanese paints collected by his friend Thur's father, and the works of Arnold Blocklin, which he saw at a visit to Basel in 1900. In 1904, Macke's father, he dies, and in that same year, Macke enrolled at the Kunststand Akademie Düsseldorf under Adolf Menninkein from 1904 to 1906. During this period, he also took up the evening classes under Fritz Helmut Imke from 1904 and 1905. He also did some stage work as a costume designer at the Staatsleibhause, or the Playhouse at Dusseldorf, and he visited northern Italy in 1905, the Netherlands, Belgium, and even Britain in 1906. Thereafter, Macke lived most of his creative life in Bonn, with the exception of a few periods spent at Lake Thon in Switzerland, and various trips to Paris, Italy, the Netherlands, and even as far-flung as Tunisia. In Paris, where he travelled for the first time in 1907, Macke saw the works of the Impressionists, and shortly thereafter he went to Berlin and spent a few months at the Lovis Kunstnit Studio in Berlin. His style was formed within the mood of the French Impressionists and Post-Impressionists, and later through the Fauve period. In 1909, he married Elisabeth Gunthardt. In 1910, through his friendship with Franz Marc, Macke met Kandinsky, and for a while shared the non-objective aesthetic and the mystical and symbolic interest in Der Blaue Winter, or the Blue River. Marc's meeting with Robert Donnelly in Paris in 1912 was to be sort of a revelation for him. Donnelly's chromatic cubism, which Apollinaire had called Orphinism, influenced Macke's art from that point onwards. His shop windows can be considered a personal interpretation of Donnelly's windows, combined with the similarities of the images found in Italian Futurism. The exotic atmosphere of Tunisia, where Marc travelled in April 1914 with Paul Kleen and Louis Mollet, was fundamental for the creation of the luminous approach for his final period, during which he produced a series of works now considered masterpieces. August Macke's oeuvre can be considered an expressionist in its original German flourishing between 1905 and 1925, and also part of a Fauvism. The paintings contrast and concentrate primarily on expressing feelings and moods, rather than reproducing objects and reality, neutrally distorting color, reality, and form for the sake of expression. Macke's career was cut short by his early death in the second month of the First World War at the front of Champagne in France on the 26th of September 1914. His final painting, ominous yet tragic, is called Farewell. It depicts the mood of gloom that settled after the outbreak of the First World War. This was also the same year that he painted the famous painting Türkische Café in München, or Turkish Cafe in Munich in 1914. And there you go, one of the many lost generations of Europe. We'll never know what he could paint after 1914, because that was it for him. And so, friends, the lost generation, the only generation to never fulfill what they started before the early months of 1914, all the way down to 1918. But he was the founder, well, not really the founder, he was prolific in German Expressionism till his death in 1914. And so ends another great legend, another great mind, August Robert Ludwig Macke. May he rest in peace and finally be with his father and mother yet again. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed. Kind of pretentious and preachy, but hope you learned something. And that is the life, the death, and the painting of Macke's career. Not very influential such as Paul Dix or even Otto Dix, and let me see, what's it? I forgot some painters, but we'll do. But he was the first German expressionist. He was larger than life. He's Cuban. I don't know. I'm not very artsy. I don't know what to say. But I can say this. His art was cut short at Champagne on the 26th of September 1914, 1 month into a 4-long-year battle of attrition for gains of ground no more than a walk to the kitchen to the bedroom every other day. And that is the story of August Ludwig Robert Macke, one of the many for the lost generation, not only for their psyche and their way of life, but the actual losses of World War I. Anyway, very artsy, very preachy, and very melodramatic, but hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something. Might try this again though. Now that I know every word, I'll try it again, but just in case, who knows. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something.